Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe you're good-looking, so always looking for and finding the good. We found good in abundance because you tuned in consciously and conscientiously to Ion Las Vegas with your humble host, Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy. Notice I didn't say the ambassador of joy. It's the ambassador of joy because that's what Las Vegas is all about. It's about exuberance. It's about experience. It's about people that make a difference in the world. We call them madmen and mad women making a difference. You're about to meet one of the more madder people that I've ever had the pleasure of working with and talking about. However, just before we bring on amazing Mike Beauchamp, I just want to make sure that everybody understands. I have the great opportunity of speaking around the world, been around the world 2 times, audiences, and speak in person now. Whenever I mention 2 words, everybody leans in and their eyes open. And these 2 words are Las Vegas, because it's a place of energy. It's probably where the pirates went, to make things happen. Because this place it pulsates with interesting beings and interesting things. Just going to give everybody an idea of something. If you take the entire population of New York City and everything around it, the entire population of Chicago and everything around it, the entire population of Los Angeles, all the people around it, add them all together, doesn't come to the number of people that come to, through, and for Las Vegas in a year. 41 plus million people come here because it is a place that just tickles the very being. And here's a tickler you're going to meet right now. One of the most amazing, interesting, wonderful people I've ever had the pleasure of working with. And his name is fabulous Mike Beauchamp. Mike, please say hello to 503,819 people around the world.
Barry, thank you so much for having me on. This is great. What a pleasure. Really appreciate it.
Well, those of you who are watching, you can see that Mike is bright. Everything around him is bright, and that smile just lights up the room. Don't think it's from the sun. It's him lighting it up. If you only listen, you can hear in his voice. Now, if I started telling you all the things that Mike has done and is doing, it would take too long. I will mention a couple of things. He actually comes from the East Coast, Connecticut. He went to one of the great schools in the country called RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology, and he integrates his technological engineering ability with harmony in the body of making people more healthy through proto gym and everything else that he does. So we're going to let him talk about it. So first of all, Mike, a pleasure to have you here. Let's just jump right in. First of all, when did you come to Las Vegas?
I came here, about 18 years ago. I was an engineer on the East Coast for pharmaceutical companies. And I'm a really good engineer and I'm a really terrible employee. So I met a girl back then, and it was a big catalyst, and it made me sell my house and quit my job. And I went from, Mr. Cool Engineer to a personal trainer at a Gold's Gym in Panama City Beach, Florida. And I did that for a year, and I couldn't take the weather. It was crazy. So I left. I go, hey, where do you want to go? She goes, I have family in Vegas. And I said, let's do it. So we moved here, and that's when I started the software in the company. And I was, what did I start? I started working at Anytime Fitnesses. I was a contract trainer, while I was writing the software and stuff. And then one thing led to another. And in 2012, I opened the first gym, open proto gym. And that went really well. And then probably within 2 years in, I said, I was outgrowing the place. And so I started looking to build the building. And that's when I started the building. And that took me like 5 years in my soul. I barely got that done. It got done though. So I finished the building. Actually, I'm in my 6th year now in the new building. And just kind of humming along.
Let's unpack a few things.
Yeah.
Let's date it. Because 18 years ago, people might be watching this 100 years from now. So the date right now is the year 2025. So
right.
Mike came here to Las Vegas area in 2007. And as he said, it's actually funny how you said it. because he was in Panama City, Florida, and couldn't take the weather, meaning the not just the heat, but the humidity.
You got to change your shirt when you get the mail.
And he moves to Las Vegas. So for everybody who knows, Las Vegas, we are not just in the desert, we are the desert. And
Yes.
the fun part of this is for 9 months out of the year, one of the most beautiful climates you could ever experience. It's just so loving and delightful. We actually have a winter, we have a beautiful spring right now, and the autumn. Now, for 3 months, it does get what other people call hot.
It's crazy.
We're not talking hot. We're talking extreme hot, triple digits, 105, 110, etc. However, here's the key. It's what we call dry heat. Now, you laugh about it. So in Panama City, in Florida, you, like you say, change your shirt because of the humidity. You're drifting after taking a 10-step walk. Here, it's just hot. And Mike and I share a great love, and that is the love of being in the water, in the pool. And we have a magnificent facility where we live. I live in I think also you, in a place called Henderson. Doesn't matter the name. The important thing is that it's a clean, beautiful, welcoming environment that allows you to be swimming in the summertime while it's 110 and you're in the water and it's 80, and life is just so wonderful. But let's just go back to your point about you were a contract
just personal trainer when I first came here. Yes.
So how does personal trainer integrate with engineer? Where do those come together?
Okay, so I was not a skinny child, and I had a lovely older sister who made fun of me one day when I was young, and I got upset, and I go, Mom, and I was always like, a good athlete and stuff. I just love food. Still to this exact second, I love food. And I was in 4th grade, I believe. I was 10 years old, and my mom didn't know what to do, so she took me to Weight Watchers. So I was going to Knights of Columbus once a week in meetings with fat Italian women eating Stella D'Oro at 2 a.m, and I had to weigh in every week. And I lost weight. I lost 25 pounds, all that. I wasn't crazy obese, but it was a thing, But the good news is it taught me how to handle these things very young. And then I always played sports and stuff, and I got into weightlifting when I was probably about 14, and I just kind of never stopped. Then when I got into my 20s, I was competing in powerlifting and stuff, while I was an engineer. I'd go to the gym at night and stuff, and I started kind of dabbling in that. I didn't win the world championship.
I want to interrupt a couple of things. Yeah. This is really great stuff. Here you have I don't know why we have an echo. There's something here. One moment, bear with me. Oh, well, okay, we'll give it a shot. Keep going. That out of something that was uncomfortable came about a beneficial, positive portion, not just in the moment, but for your whole life. So when
Absolutely.
You makes fun of you being overweight, your mother was able to find a modality. They said, okay, well, let's take advantage of this. And not only was it beneficial, you shed those 25 pounds. However, it gave you something even more important. It gave you a roadmap called discipline, determination,
Absolutely.
And decision, and which actually fit your personality as an engineer. I'm not. However, the ability to be in a groove in a certain way fits an engineering idea. And now when you go to lift weight, I'm going to interject this and say, you probably brought your engineering skills and your disciplines to weightlifting. Is
Absolutely.
That what you're
Absolutely. So when I quit engineering, and even when I was in Florida, okay, one catalyst I quit is I had an epiphany for fitness software. And this is back in the 2000s, and so there's no, there was internet, but not, you know what I mean? It isn't like it is now. And So I made, and I still have it. Now, I haven't made much money from it. I'll let you know when I do. but I made a fully autonomous software system workout generator. So it measures physics and what they call proprioception in real time. And it makes you a different workout every time forever. It's all algorithmic. There's no preset anything. It took me and my buddy from RIT like 5 years to make it. When I first came here in the Anytime Fitness, all the videos in it, which they're long in the tooth, it all needs to be redone, but I'm too busy with other stuff. But I filmed it in Anytime Fitness at like 10:30 at night in front of like a rug I bought from Lowe's and built like this PVC frame. And I did 2,000 videos over the course of like a year.
Okay, wait a minute. I need to interrupt. So we got people listening from all over the world. I mean, everywhere in the world. We got people listening in Bhutan, I found out, and middle of Africa and Latin America, and people are leaning in. First of all, this is, in my humble opinion, the essence of the American spirit, number one.
I'm so American.
I mean, this is America. You can do anything.
That's why I love it. When people complain about America, I'm like, please stop. It's the easiest place to live on the planet. Oh, my life's so hard. I live in America. I can't. Yeah.
But because everybody in the world that's listening, and we got hundreds of thousands of people, and even in the United States, people want to come here because this is a place where there's not just economic freedom, it's mental freedom, it's spiritual freedom. You can do what Mike is talking about. So I'm going to make videos. I'm going to get a rug from Lowe's. I'm going to build a little frame, and I'm going to make a video. And this is years ago. And look what he does. He made 2,000 videos.
Yeah, it took forever. And as long as you're willing to work hard, you can get whatever you want. It's just a choice to choose to continue to do your best. And look, I have a lot of failures too. We could go through that, but you can't. I don't know. Either it only ends if you give up, right? That's the only way it ever ends.
Okay, those words of wisdom are enough to stimulate everybody in the world. Now, never, ever consider giving up. What you can do is shift. However, you always are moving for, even you zig, you might zag. And I want to emphasize that what happened for Mike was that something that, I don't like that. My sister's making fun of me. Wow, one of the greatest things ever happened. And we're going to go to a break in just less than a minute. And I want Mike to tell a story about what happened to him recently. And you're also going to hear a beneficial outcome, because people sometimes get hit and they think, oh my gosh, that's the end, it's terrible. And the reality is that may have saved your life. So let's just do this, Mike. We're going to go to a quick break. We'll
sure.
43 seconds. We'll be right back. Don't go away. There's more Mike Beauchamp on the other side, because this guy is just brimming with bounty and beauty, and I love him. Be right back after this. Don't go away.
What if you could shop at your favorite local stores, swipe your current credit card, and get extra cashback rewards? And what if you could also have donations sent to your favorite cause at no extra cost to you? What if this amazing program was absolutely free and very simple to set up? Well, What If is here. Welcome to Einstein Cares, where your everyday shopping gives you and your favorite cause extra money. It's fast, it's easy, and effortless.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. You'll be good-looking. So always looking for and finding the good. We found good in abundance. Our cup runneth over with good. His name is Mike Beauchamp, and he is the essence of what it means to be healthy, physically, mentally, and spiritually. We're talking about proto-gym, and we're talking about things that happen in life, and they're always for your benefit, always for your good. By the way, Mike, with your permission, I thought of an acronym for your name. I love doing acronyms. And
sure.
Can I share it with you?
Sure.
Okay, Mike, MIKE stands for manifesting inspiration and kindness every day.
Trying, Barry. I am trying.
You are trying being, and you're succeeding. I'm telling you, you're succeeding. That's the beauty of this. I want to shift just for a little bit and talk about Hydra blocks, because one of the
Yeah.
ways that I met Mike, we met at the pool, and here's this guy who was certainly muscle bound. If you're watching, you can see, and muscle bound, by the way, in a very nice way. It's very sculpted, not.
Compliments will get you everywhere, Barry. I love it.
But he's crazy. Why? Because he's carrying a huge weight on his shoulders, and I thought he was an addict. And I use that, by the way, because I used to work many years ago with heroin addicts, and one of the things I always described is they were always carrying what they call a monkey in their back or a huge weight. And one of the things that I was able to work with people is to have them pick up that weight and put it down and see how they feel. But he's carrying away. I thought the guy's crazy. So let's talk about Hydra blocks. What the heck is that thing you carry, and why should anybody listen to you?
All right, so Hydra blocks right now is a patent pending piece of equipment. It's the prototype is in my gym as we speak. It's essentially hydraulic jerk blocks. Jerk blocks are the stackable blocks that, like barbells, like Olympic lifters a lot of times, and weightlifters use them, and they can slam them on. But the problem with them is they're annoying. They're really loud and they're heavy. So unless you're like super into it, you're not going to use them, but they're really beneficial because the bearing surface is the plates instead of the bars. So you don't bend bars and all these things. Right. So I had an idea that I wanted to make a fully automated, I go, what if you could just walk to the ground and you just hit a button and platforms just come out of the floor to any height you want. And you could set the barbell whichever height you want and do whatever you want. And it's taken years, but I have it. So I have proprietary shock absorption, and I still work on it to this day. Like I'm going there, I'm still doing development. It's becoming a product. It's made me learn how many years it takes to bring something to market when it's complex. And there's times even I've wanted to give up on it. I'm like, man, because I have spent money, lots of just development and labor and stuff to keep it going. And like we talked about earlier, either choose to continue or choose not to. Those are your options, And I'm like, well, if I stop, what happens? Absolutely nothing, right? If I continue, even again, to bring up my sister, I was actually kind of whining to her about it maybe like a month ago. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to do this. She's like, you're dumb. She's like, you should absolutely continue. And you're learning so much. And it's true. I've learned so many skill sets just by going through it. Because I am an addict of learning. I am constantly trying to learn stuff, how to do different things.
Okay, let me put you on pause for a moment. Unpack.
Yeah.
So in some level, I understand visually what it is that you're trying to do. I wish we had a picture, but we don't. Well, maybe next time.
Right.
I'd like to understand it. I can see this being used in every weight room around the country for every athlete. In other words, all
exactly
teams.
Picture it in a D1 college, like for a football team. So there's like 10 of them lined up. And the cool thing is it's non-incremental height. So it fits every person wherever you want. And then because it sucks up there's no bounce. You drop any weight from any height and it won't bounce. It's like a dead mallet. So It's really safe. It's really safe for kids. So you can line up and quick setups and stuff. So you can push an 80-person football team through a workout way quicker just from the logistics of like no setup and tons of safety, right?
Okay, again, anybody in the world can have ideas and do things and such. The genius of America, and by the way, I'm going to say here in Las Vegas, the energy here is really, for me, it vibrates. It is really pulsate because there's so much. And by the way, let's be blunt, and I'm saying on a positive level, the gambling helps that. In other words, gambling is a buzz. And there are millions, I told you, 41 million people come here. They come here for the shows. They come here for the conventions. They come here for the gaming because you feel it. It's electric. So what you're doing is going to be rippling out once you finish this, whether it's the next month, 6 months, year, it doesn't matter. It will ripple out and help tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands of millions of people around the world. So we're urging you on. Mike, yay.
I appreciate you. You got to have guts. You got to go for it to have purpose. I don't want to live life without purpose. I want to, be proud of my life, like anyone, right?
Let's say a couple things here that he's mentioning. Everybody knows I have another podcast, which thank God, we always urge you to share this with 5 people. You want to share with 50 or 100, that's up to you. That's very cool. At least 5, so we can touch 2.5 million people around the world, because we got 500,000 plus listeners and growing. And of course, love us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. The important thing is to reach and touch people with the positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant message. So on the other podcast in here, we talk about the 3 fundamentals of life. And they are: number 1, life has purpose. Number 2, you lead a purpose-driven life, you go mad. Well, he's a madman. What does MAD stand for? Make a difference. You lead a purpose-driven life, you make a difference. And the third is to uncover the power and the sequence of everyday words and terms, like Mike, we just uncovered the essence of your name. And I'm going to tell you another one, because you mentioned about a lifelong learner. So we talk of this, everybody knows what a ball is. A ball, now whenever you pick one up, you're going to think of these words: become a lifelong learner. In other words, play ball.
Absolutely.
Be a lifelong learner. And you're going to bring it to the world, and it's going to make a difference. These wonderful Hydro Blocks. Let's shift a little bit in our gears and talk about something that's also very dear to you. Actually, let's go back to the story that we intrigue people with. So Mike, he's an interesting character. He drives a very large, fascinating, open back truck that has a huge wheel in it, a huge wheel. And I said, I have to meet this guy. I'm going to this pool now for the past couple of years, and this truck is there. I got to find it out. One day, my assistant tells me, Mr. Shore, I know the person who has that truck. Like, who is it? And he said, the guy with that barbell thing. I saw. So one day I had the opportunity just recently, and I find him with the ball, just who he's going in the water. I said, I need you. He says, who are you? What are you doing? And I said, what's that truck? Tell me this story. So he told me this story. I want you to tell the story about what happened when you were driving and one of your passengers, and the terrible news and the good news.
Sure. So yes, the truck is gigantic. It's F550 flatbed it's the biggest thing that you can get. And, I'm sure I get judged. It's fine. But what happened is I used to have like a Ford F350 pickup. And the reason that I have a big truck and had a rack on it and stuff is because I do steel work. I weld half the equipment at the gym. When I say we built the building, like I built the building, you know what I mean? So there's tools, materials, and I need a big truck to do stuff, right? So I had an F350, and this was a Sunday. It was about, it's going to be almost 4 years now, maybe 3.5. I don't know. Kim, unfortunately, or a person I live with, Kim, my person, she, her father had lung cancer at this time. And it was a Sunday, and it was early afternoon, and we literally, like 2:00, and we were driving back from her parents' house because we were setting up his medical bed, to deal with him, obviously. And we're driving, and I'm on, Barry, you would know this, I'm on Eastern going up the hill there. And all of a sudden, from oncoming traffic at like 80 miles an hour, this drunk driver comes barreling down the hill, oncoming. And I'm right at the intersection of Eastern and Horizon. And right when we get to like the intersection, I'm right in the middle lane going like, 40, 45. It's all green lights. You know what I mean? Just going. And this guy came and he hit my door. And he had that, it was like a 3-row SUV, a big SUV. And he got under me and he flipped and 8,000 pound truck 3 times in the air. And the only reason I know that's because that's what all the spectators told us, And when people say stuff like that goes in slow motion, it's really true. All the airbags went off. It felt like we were cradled. Like, it was nuts. And I don't think we passed out. There was glass everywhere, but all the doors were crinkled. And it was clearly a terrible experience. The worst part about it is you couldn't get out. You can't get out. You're trapped in there. And you're like, all right, is this thing going to explode? You can't get out. There's no way. The doors are crinkled, glass everywhere. You couldn't do it. So they jaws of lifed us out, and Kim was when we both survived. Believe it or not, we Ubered home. Like, and the problem is all the ambulances show up, and I know half of them because they go to my gym, and they're like, Mike, are you okay? And I'm like, I don't know. Am I? Like, you tell me. And they're like, well, your vitals are okay. I guess you guys are cool. And so they like sent us home. It's crazy. But the not getting out and being flipped, I'm like, I'm never going through that again. And it messed up. It scrambled my brain for a while. I mean, I'm 3 years out from this now, so I'm, normal for me. But it was not good for a while. Like we had traumatic brain injury and stuff like that. And I just told myself, I'm never getting flipped again. What can I do? And so I probably had PTSD during this time, 6 months after. I'm on the internet and I'm like researching trucks and this and that. And so I bought an F550 chassis cab and then did all this crazy custom stuff, planned this whole thing to do. And I'm like, I don't care how much it costs. Like, I'm doing it. I wanted to be safe. And then part of me like wanted it too. I'm not going to lie. Like, it was pretty cool. But like,
you are an exaggerated person. Let's be blunt.
Yeah. It was like the ultimate expression of my insanity, And so,
I want to hear what happened because you had a passenger. The nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna get to her. So like, we had clearly there's all injury case and stuff. So we had tons of medical attention. And Kim, she's a pretty amazing person too. At this time, she already survived cancer 5 times. She had uterine, ovarian, stomach, liver, and then leukemia. And I watched her go through leukemia too. That was horrible, but she did it. You want to talk about fortitude, like just insane. And we're getting scans. We had obviously scans on her neck and head and stuff. And then a chiropractor nurse was like, this scan looks weird. You want to get this checked out? And we're like, what? And then it turned out that she had thyroid cancer. And so because of getting almost dead from a drunk driving accident and going through this terrible, horrible, and we were miserable at this time. It was really terrible. Like, thank God, discovered thyroid cancer. And she got her thyroid removed and she lives to this day and she's in remission with leukemia. And thank God. It's so crazy I say that, right? Thank God we got almost killed by a drunk driver because I'd rather have her on this planet than not, so okay, it's cool.
This is a very high note. I am very sorry to say the words I'm about to say. We're coming to a close in our time together at this moment. However, what you just shared with us is so profound in the sense of life. See, everything we were talking about was death and destruction and such and cancer, and it's life. Because no matter what happens, we have something called SMILE. SMILE stands for seeing miracles in life every day. So,
it's true.
As I said, we're coming into a close of this time. I have 3 quick questions for you, Mike Beauchamp. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
Okay, number 1. Will you come back again?
I love your face. I will totally come back again.
Number 2, you only have 38 seconds to answer this.
Okay.
Right? What is your most fervent desire?
Oh, that's so crazy. I really, right now, I've been living away. I know it seems great. I've been living away from my family. They're on the East Coast for 30 years now. I really want to, I've been working on it now. Moving back there in Connecticut and being near them. My dad's 79, my mom's 75. My sister, I won't say how old she is, but she's older than me. And she, I feel like I want to be near them. I feel like they need, it's time to be near them again. And I'm very fortunate that I'm going to have the ability to do that and go back and forth. But I've been working toward it for years and it's time. It's going to be this year. And I'm actually very thrilled about that.
That is a wonderful, fervent desire. And number 3, may I give you a hug in front of 511,917 people around the world?
All day, every day.
Okay, let me tell you what HUG stands for. Heartfelt, unlimited giving. Are you ready, sir? 1, 2, 3. And you
appreciate you, Barry.
I on Las Vegas with wonderful Mike and Barry. And this show is not about Mike, great ideas, or Barry even. It's about you becoming the best you. Because when you're the best you make the world a better place. You build more bridges of harmony, create more joy, happiness, peace, and love. And a blessing from Mike and Barry. Go forth. Live exuberantly. Spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference. Mike, don't go away.